Are we in a bull market? What do you think? Let's talk about it. So welcome to the channel. If you are new, please do subscribe, hit the bell button, like, comment. Also, join my Telegram. There's over 2,100 people in there. Crazy. And also follow me on socials. All links are below. Now, I asked this question yesterday on the screen, as you can see. In my premium group, feel free, check it out, free to try. Are we in a bull market? Now I want to talk about this. I want to do some historic sort of data as well. If you don't know how to use TradingView, CoinMarketCap, we'll come on to TradingView. Ignore my stupidness. If you go into historic time shots, you can go back in time, and there is echoings of a bull market, but I don't think yet. Not yet. I think it's too early to say. I think, especially today, the news has came out in the UK, recession, not good. That's not going to trigger any bull runs as a pair of money to be invested in. If people are shitting themselves, remember, by the way, we like to follow the media. We like to listen to the media. Please make sure that if you are listening to the media and they're scaremongering you not to spend any money because we're in a recession, chances are people will probably listen and not buy Bitcoin. However, fundamental wise, inflation, recessions, keeping your money as your own money, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, crypto assets, essentially, it's fundamentally very, very bullish in my opinion. But that's for another day. So if we go back in time, random, I know, this is like, by the way, this is going to be a total random video. Enjoy it. Please do like it if you do enjoy this sort of shit. Let's go back in time to, let's go 3 years ago. This week, 3 years ago, obviously the 13th, give or take. We'll look at the market. $4,000. Ethereum was what, roughly, well, $300. XRP, Bitcoin shit, Litecoin. A lot of these coins are still lower than these regions before the bull run. But I want to make things very, very clear. Bull runs, they do happen. And I want to make something very, very clear as well. If you've never experienced a bull run of last time, there's one tip I want to give you, and I want you to make sure you know this. Keep something. Just in case, keep something. Now, I put a tweet out this morning stating that I've sold some of my trading bag into the world of Bitcoin. Why? I'm not a fan of the price action. This is what happened. Well, let's go through the bull run, right? Let's just talk about it. This was the bull run. Roughly same sort of price action right now. Obviously, some other altcoins are a bit lower than that now. Obviously, some of them are higher. But when you go in time and future and you look at it, and you're looking at these 7-day percentage changes, you're going to start seeing things. You're going to go, oh my god, there's some monster moves, by the way, coming up. Like, I'm not talking one way or the other, just huge moves. Now, these are all in USD values. As you see, all-time high. Ooh, pretty much crazy. Likes of XRP, Cardano, they grow huge amounts. This is why I don't think we're in a full-on bull run yet. We've moved periodically over a period of time in a bull trend, but not a bull run. Bull trend and a bull run are a little bit different. When you think of a massive run, you got to look at how things have grown in the stock market, how fast and how many records have broken over that period of time. We're not broken any records really. So a few coins have gone over all-time highs, obviously Chainlink, Band, etc. But the whole market's kind of just went a little bit with it, and we're going to go over the data in a minute. Obviously, look at the price fluctuation. This is where you'd get absolutely destroyed in a market if you're on high leverage. By the way, don't use high leverage, you'll lose. So you can see here how it's all kind of thing. This is where I made a chunk of my money. From this date, then plus 2 weeks. This is where it went crazy. This is where a lot of altcoins just went to the moon. Like the ERC20 token just went boom. And as you can see, look at the 7 days. Unbelievable runs. Crazy runs. Look at XRP now. And by the way, when I first started this, that was like what, 25 cents? And that was only in 6 weeks. So you can imagine the amount of gains that it has. Obviously going back in time, and you can see here Neo still climbing. A lot of them obviously correcting. Look at Ethereum now. Crazy, crazy. Right, anyways, moving on. First thing I want to talk about is dominance. Dominance of BTC. It's not warranting a bull run yet. When we break this level here, okay, this is where things will begin to fly, in my honest opinion. Now, this is, obviously this video is going to be a bit wishy-washy, a bit weird. we're going to look at certain areas of interest. And what I want to give you, if I go to the weekly time frame on the dominance chart, you can see this in a bit more clear light. I'm looking at this level. This whole turning point here, this boom, where it actually just went up into this region, it turned around. But you got to look at other areas as well where we've went into it and turned around, obviously broke through it, turned around. This is obviously before the world of altcoins went a bit mental and a lot of altcoins came out. That's obvious. But when you start looking at certain things on this chart, you're going to start seeing some interesting stuff. So I'm going to go to this wick level here. Basically, simple as that. That wick, which also correlates with all these candle closures. Actually, no, we're going to go with these candle closures here. That is a 69 level. We've also been up there, turned around. It's weird how these index charts also work quite well with technicals. But the one thing that I want to make very, very clear, we're obviously going to go into this level here as well. But this level here is also vitally important, which I want to look at. Look at where this wick goes. Look at where these body closures, wick close, wick, wick, wick. Fucking loads of wicks. A lot of wicks in and around this region. If I just put horizontal right there, that is like the 62. We're literally underneath that. Oh, actually, no. Bear with me. Let me make that right. There we go. That wick, 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 wick. Fucking hell. There's a lot of wicks. So we're looking at this region. This whole region here. This whole region as an area of interest, in my opinion, for the dominance chart. Dominance. If we break below this, we're going to snap and we're going to slide into the 50s, which would be nice. That is where alt seasons will carry on. It will continue. Continuation. And we need to start looking at the higher level up here. This is just a massive band of interest. And again, if you look at the top level, if I go onto the daily chart, you can kind of see where things have turned around, where things have obviously, that's a bit weird. Obviously, we need to consider that. Who knows what would have happened that day. But when you start looking at where things are kind of being, and like that whole band area, in my viewpoint, this whole area is an absolute interesting area. That area there, between 68 and 69 levels, that, in my opinion, is also interesting. So, what could happen here? Just to give you an insight, if dominance does start to trickle up again, which would indicate that dominance is obviously, Bitcoin has grown, Bitcoin has done a move, altcoins will kind of perish a little bit, in my viewpoint. What will happen is essentially the altcoins will bleed, and what people tend to forget and do not look at is the world of, wait for it, Satoshi values. Now, this is obvious. That is a downtrend. I personally don't think we're going to go into these levels unless we test this top. What I'm thinking is we're going to go in and around this halfway point. When you start looking at the basic lines of technicals and you start looking at, if is this a bottom, where can we go? Well, we could bounce right into this 65 level very, very easily. And this is where bull runs will really, like a full-on bull run, like a scary bull run. If, what could happen here? In my viewpoint, that whole box area is obviously a key level. You know, that's a key range for a potential entry point, in my viewpoint, where not so much you're going to trade this, but you're going to start looking at certain things. This is all probability, right? If you start looking at, say, I don't know, that is demand, apologies. Let's look at that region there. If we pop into this zone here, you're going to start seeing your altcoins melt a little bit, not in USD values probably, because obviously it follows Bitcoin. But when you start looking at the Satoshi values of your coins, if you go into, like, you know, this is another top tip as well, by the way, just to give you an insight. A lot of people don't do this, and it really irritates me. You got USD values, look at the BTC values. People always trying at my videos, look at the changes in it, look at the fluctuation changes. I'll go back to it again. You got an extra 9% in BTC values here versus USD. See the changes? Obvious, isn't it? Right. If you want to grow Bitcoin, trade in BTC values. Simple as that. So, what in my viewpoint is, I think we're going to, obviously we're forming a downtrend. I think we're going to retest this level here, where all these little spikes and wicks and stuff have happened on the weekly. But when you look at the daily, it looks very, very obvious. It's like there's a whole load of like movement in and around this band. I think, personally, we're going to pop back into this level here, where this is kind of stop and turn around again, and create a interesting level where altcoins might get smashed, because that could be in line with wait for it, BTC retesting this 12k level again for the third time. So, is it a bull market? As it stands, I don't think so yet. Because if you look back in time as well, if you look back in the world of Bitcoin, you zoom out a little bit, we've been up here before and it wasn't a bull run. We've been a lot higher. We've been at 14k. It was a bull market in terms of Bitcoin was bullish, but the world of altcoins at that point were not. When you look at altcoins, and if I go on to like any sort of compare chart, let's look at Ethereum, BTC, for example. We'll do, I don't know, Binance. What you're seeing here, look at that. When you start going up, and you're seeing this pop, but when it goes up even higher, the Satoshi values just die. Look at the depth of that. So you've got the world of Ethereum during that pump just dying. The difference with this market right now, and I want to make this clear as well, altcoins have been rallying with Bitcoin, but there will be a point where that dominance will shift again and the altcoins will be taking profit and they'll be going into Bitcoin. What will then happen next? What we want to see, this is what you want to see. You want to see Bitcoin move. You want it to go up to 14k beyond that. You then want the profits to go out of that into the lower levels like this, the BTC value, the Satoshi values of Bitcoin, of your alts. So Ethereum / BTC, XRP / B, you get the picture. Don't trade in USD because USD follows Bitcoin in USD values. The money is making Bitcoin essentially, in my opinion. That's where most of the money is because you're getting Bitcoin. What is one Bitcoin and then you double it, it becomes 2. When you go into the world of, what's 10k, you double it to 20k. In fact, if Bitcoin drops, you're going to lose a lot of money. That's a problem. Simple as that. So, with this is interesting. Huge run up. The correlation between that going the opposite side is unbelievable. Even here, you're looking at this, it goes up, so does this. But when you look at it going down, it goes down. Going up, again, what happened? Bitcoin pumped, Ethereum dumped. Because people were focusing on Bitcoin. It will probably happen again. Right now, when Bitcoin was sideways here, Ethereum pumped with it. Boom. So, are we going to see a change? I think we will. Personal opinion, BTC dominance. We're going to talk about this in a little bit more obvious terms. Simple terms is, we've got a interesting area, this interesting level here, which has been holding up for a while. It's been basically, the demand is there. People keep pushing Bitcoin back up when it goes to a certain level. But what I think is this level here is where the supply technically is, where people will offload, move profits out of Bitcoin into altcoins. But I think we're going to see us move into this 65 level, which could be very, very interesting. But we'll see what happens because you've got to look at the lowers, the lower highs that have been forming. Will we break out from that and carry on going up? Who knows? But what could happen, retest this 64, 65 level, which would indicate a potential run on Bitcoin, which could run up to 12k, maybe higher. But these Satoshi values will get absolutely obliterated. It doesn't take much to work out that they will happen. So, slightly longer, slightly weirder video. But I personally, my opinion is, I think it's far too early to tell if we're in a bull run, a proper bull run. The dominance needs to move down. If we start seeing, in my viewpoint, a break below 57, this level here, I think things are going to go very, very interesting. But when you look at the news of gold, dumping as it did yesterday, when you look at the fact of recession, when you look at the fact of election and the hype in the stock market, I don't think profit will spill into this market just yet. Just yet. But when they do, it'll be nice. It'll be very, very nice. Whether there's going to be Bitcoin dips or not is another thing. The reason why I want to say that is because of this. Let's just go back in time very, very quickly. We've been higher. We also went very, very low. This could fail. This could fail. If it does, we're going to go back down to 10.5. If that then fails, we're going to go back to 8.8. If that then fails, we're going to go down to the 7,000 levels. If that then fails, we're going to go down to these levels. You've got to go what if. Be prepared for everything. Top tip, golden ticket. hold crypto. Put a little proportion onto an exchange so you're flexible with it. If it starts dumping, well, take a bit out. If you made profit, enjoy your life. Simple as that.